So if you're looking at employee personality testing for managers, then there's lots of good reasons to do so. In this short video, we're going to look at why and how and what you can get out of employee personality testing for managers. So if you would like to keep your good staff from quitting, so staff turnover is an issue, you want to keep a hold of staff, then you definitely want to be looking at some personality testing. 51% of people in a large survey, I think was carried out by Gallup, stated that 51% of people who actually quit their job cite their line manager as the reason for quitting. Now, line manager is a tough job. You get it all in the neck, everybody blames you for everything, and I'm sure all of those line managers did not set out to drive their staff out the door. However, that is still the outcome, and the line managers are still having to take the blame for it. So if you want to keep a hold of your staff, we really need to help the line managers. They need more support. You need more support to help you understand your staff in order to avoid the simple things that most line managers do in order that they don't start looking about for another job. So a better understanding of each of your individual staff members will really help to reduce your staff turnover, and that goes straight to your benefit. When people quit, especially good staff, if they quit and probably join your competitors, it gives you as a line manager a real problem. It gives you a big sore head, it gives you an awful lot more work to do, and then you've got to try and fill that position. It's just a big saga of disaster. So if you can stop good people from quitting in the first place, then it pays dividends, it pays time and time again. It's time well spent, it's money well spent. It would save you weeks and months of anguish trying to replace someone who used to be doing a good job for you. So People Maps can help with this using the Onboard and Manage suite of personality reports. And regardless of what the job role is, there'll be a report that you can use. And each report is designed for typical job role. So if you're got someone who's dealing in customer service, then you use the customer service report. That report will tell you about them as an individual. It's for your eyes only, these reports. These are for the manager's reports. There's different reports available if you want to give something to the actual employee. But these reports are for your eyes only. They give the line manager the deep insight into that individual that they can use to then manage them more effectively as you go. Now, a couple other things you should know about the People Maps online personality testing system, although we tend not to use the word test as an assessment. A test implies that you can pass or fail it, and there's really no pass or fail when it comes to personality assessment. It's simply a case of understanding. There is no improvement to be made in personality. It's not something, it's just something that is. And as a manager, you want to understand what that is. So the questionnaire itself only takes 5 minutes. It's all done online. It's really easy for any manager. It's been designed specifically for busy line managers to get someone to do the questionnaire and then they get the report. You don't need to go on a course. You don't need to take a week out your life. You don't need to learn about psychology. There's none of that. All of that has been done for you, so it's in the system. The report itself, so this is the one for technicals. Let's say you manage a whole bunch of technical people, let's say, or even one technical person. And if you're in sales, for instance, maybe your background's in sales and you've responsibility for a technical person, they're very different from you. The chances are that their personality type and your personality type are really quite different. So what would work for you, what would be good for you, is actually the worst thing you can do for them. And this is true of personality across the board. It's why management is so complex and so difficult, because what's the right answer for one person today would be the absolute worst thing to do with another person tomorrow. And therefore, these personality reports will help you navigate that and avoid you making all the simple mistakes that we all do as managers without thinking, without trying. Now, the reports themselves are written in plain English and they are jargon free. There is nothing to interpret. You don't need to go on a special training course to understand what the personality report actually says. It's really simple. Mainly, it consists of a whole bunch of things that guide you in terms of what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And even if you just followed the very basic steps, and it says, well, for Pete's sake, don't do this if you're dealing with Joe, or do this because Joe really responds to that, One or two of those actions could make a huge difference to you as a manager and make a big difference to Joe, and all of a sudden Joe is now performing at levels that you've probably not expected or seen before. Now, other things that you will see improve, of course, once you understand somebody and you get this deeper insight, then you will see not only that they don't quit the job, but you can actually get them to engage more with you and with the job itself. Engagement's a really tough issue, but you need to understand the individuals. You need to really get into the psyche of the individual in order to help them become more engaged. If you can get them engaged, then you can increase productivity. You can get better results from your existing staff, and surely that has got to be a dividend pays off to you as a line manager. Other thing the report will do will explain even things like how to motivate the individual and keep them engaged. And that's a really tricky thing. How do you motivate staff? Well, the answer is it varies. It varies for every individual on your team. What motivates one person is the worst thing to do with the next person. If you don't understand what those motivations are, then it's only a matter of time. You're only going to get it right occasionally some of the time. So you might have read something about, read this is how you motivate staff, and sure, it will work, but only on a percentage of personality types. All the rest is probably the worst thing to do. And this is the real challenge, I say. It varies from person to person. The reports themselves will even explain how to reprimand someone. This is probably the most difficult task of any manager. When someone messes up and they really need to be reprimanded, this report will give you an insight into how that individual will actually respond and guide you in an effective way to reprimand that individual so they don't make the mistake again, but at the same time you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Again, very, very useful, very, very powerful. Every manager should have a quick look at that report before they have to have crosswords with any member of staff. The damage that you can do if you get that wrong can last forever. You may never recover from that. That might be the one thing that they go, stuff you, I'm going to look for another job because you've upset them. It hasn't been handled properly. Okay, so if you like what you're seeing here, then simply contact People Maps today and arrange a free trial. Just call them, email them, get in touch with us and ask for a free trial. Read one of your own reports, talk to someone about what you would like to do, how you can get your staff engaged, how you can help and support either yourself as a line manager or line managers that work for you. People Maps will make this really quick and really easy and pretty painless for you. It could be up and running within a matter of minutes. No need to go in a great big course, no need to go and learn about psychology. It's all in the report, it's all in the system. So contact People Maps today and let's talk about how employee personality testing can help you and your organisation.